right, welcome back for FAB Gauntlet Week 11. Dante, thank you for joining me as always. We are having some small technical problems, mostly with the stream title. I forgot to update it to Week 11, but that's why we have Dante. He's going to take you away and start the casting on this Bravo versus Reinar.
Hey, look, if you can't figure it out, then I would just leave it. It's all good. We can change the title in the YouTube video. We upload the VODs on YouTube, by the way. We've noticed that there are quite a few views on that the VODs get on the Twitch channel, but those get deleted after 10 days, I believe Brendan was telling me. So just keep in mind that we do have a VOD channel on YouTube. So if you do want to go back and watch any of the VODs or anything like that, we'd recommend that you do it there because they'll be there forever. On Twitch, they get deleted after 10 days. But we'll get right into the match. It looks like we have a Bravo versus a Reinar. Reinar is going first here. He's got the barraging beat down turn one. You love to see it. We're going to start intimidating right away. We'll see if he has any other cards to be intimidating with. Probably a 6 attack that'll get an intimidate in. Either that or he's just going to play a Blood Rush Bellow. Wow, I literally could not have written it. Uh, so he hits the Blood Rush turn one, discards the Savage Feast, I believe that is, and he'll be intimidating another card here. Only way this gets better is if he top decks an Alpha Rampage. So we'll see. We'll see if he does. Um, He's probably going to end up swinging with the claws. Not much defense here for the Bravo player. The good news for Bravo, though, is that he has so much armor. It's like having extra life, basically. So I'm not saying that he should be blocking with the armor here or anything like that, but it'll give him more sustainability throughout the game than if this were happening to a hero like Ira, for example, who doesn't really have much armor. You're basically taking away her life and making it so that she, yeah, it's just going to be two claw swings here, making it so that she basically is starting on 10 life tier 20. She kind of has to claw her way back in. Whereas
Literally, right?
Bravo is going to be taking 5 damage here, nothing crazy, and he still has the fridge as it's called in New Zealand.
Yep.
Usually that's for warrior, but Bravo has a fridge of his own, so
Down to 15 on turn one. Pretty good for our Bravo player going first. Interesting the choice
yeah,
not to Arsenal because there is definitely discussion to go ahead and Arsenal that Blood Rush Bellow and try to play a bigger hand. That being said,
yep.
the Bravo player could, have some sort of crush effect that would kind of derail that turn anyway, right? You get hit by Spinal, get by Crippling, all bad news. So, if you do go for it on turn zero, like we saw there, he's going to easily block with 2 cards from hand, not lose too much on that end, but does end up taking the 5 damage because 2 cards were intimidated. We do see, I think that's a blue pummel pitch, and that's a Rouse the Ancients. We're going to reveal Command and Conquer and Disable.
Ooh, and a disable, nice.
That's the old 7 go again. No,
I
yeah,
wonder what's happening after this
I
one.
wonder, yeah, right? I think it's a little Command and Conquer.
Yeah, I think so too. Now, Sam doesn't have an arsenal, so it's not going to be the biggest deal for him. It'll just end up being damage, but it's definitely a high damage turn. That'll be a 13 damage
Yep.
turn when that CNC comes out, which is, not anything to laugh at. That is a lot of damage to be dealing on one turn.
Yep.
Um,
Important to note as well, and like on the, it's just always interesting to look at Reinhar's armor setup. So we have the Arcanite Skull Cap, but then we have the Heart and Cross Strap and Gambler's Gloves. Then, kind of the staple that you always see, which is going to be the Scav Skin leathers. But I mean, there's a discussion to run like Skull Horn, discussion to run Tunic sometimes, and definitely discussion to run some
the
other
Barkbone.
yeah. So the bark bone strapping, and then you can run the iron. Is it usually the iron rock gloves instead of gamblers? If you do decide to go that way.
You usually see the Iron Rock gloves against Iras, just to
Mm.
stop the extra on hit effects or Kadachi late game or something like that. I don't know if you usually run it against Bravo. I would assume that if their crush is gonna crush you,
Ooh.
it's gonna hit you no matter what. You know what
Well,
I mean?
Alpha Rampage,
Um,
double intimidate coming in for 9 now.
yeah, pitching a reckless swing as well. If this game does go long, um, it's important to keep note that the reckless swing was pitched here because it'll be coming back, and if Moody's life gets too low, it could end up being pretty bad for him if he's
Mm-hmm.
able to get that reckless swing off. So it's just something to keep in mind. Um,
was very aggressive out of both players, right? Like both players choosing not to Arsenal, both on turn 0 and then turn 1 for the Bravo, opting to, kind of pressure and get that damage in. Uh, Interesting to see at this point. We'll see how the Bravo deals with the Alpha Rampage, which is going to be for 9. We'll keep 2 cards in hand, though.
Yeah. I'm guessing that he'll probably end up blocking with both cards just to mitigate the amount of damage he's taking, and then play a 2-card hand on his own turn. Even one, just like pitching the hammer, pitching to swing the hammer, and then arsenaling your last card. Never a bad thing. Hammer comes in for 4, so it's always a good amount of damage. Unless he, oh, I see why he was considering the block here. Yeah, just throwing some armor in front of it to preserve the life total.
Is that 2 cards from his hand? Is there something sitting under the pummel there?
Yeah, so there's a pummel of something else.
Pummel. Okay.
A double pummel. Okay. I'm guessing those are probably 2 red pummels.
Yeah.
That he wanted to save.
Yeah, tough.
So that's
tough.
Definitely
beats.
unfortunate. And they only block for 2 as well.
Exactly, right?
It's not great when the Alpha Rampage is coming through.
Yeah, he intimidates 2 cards and probably intimidates 2-3 block cards. Thus, we have to use the armor.
Yeah, it's just not the greatest situation to find yourself in. But again, you're Bravo, so sometimes taking hits like that isn't the biggest deal in the world, especially if you can come back with a hammer for 4, a hammer for 6. It's still damage, and you can set up for a turn later on. But it looks like he's going to opt to make a Seismic Surge token and swing the hammer instead. Yeah.
Yep. Swing for 6 here. Again, not arsenaling. I mean, didn't really have too much of an arsenal target there. But still, both players, opting to play up their hands throughout this game. That's a double massacre, yeah.
Okay, wow. Well, at least there are none of those left in the deck for a huge Intimidate turn or something like that. Interesting that the Bravo player decided to pitch his Showtime. I think the Showtime would have been pretty good if you play it out. It lets you draw another card at the start of your next turn. As well, you can arsenal, a big, Crippling Crush maybe or something along those lines.
And while your life total is healthy too, right? Because you do that play when you're, lower. So he's at 14, but you do that play at, something like sub 10. It's going to be pretty hard to keep that hand and play out that Crippling Crush.
Yeah, exactly. You still have quite a few points left on your armor as well if you do need to block out a big attack. If anything, you can basically just block out. If he has like another Blood Rush Bellow turn, for example, your whole hand is probably getting intimidated, so you'll still be able to play the Crippling Crush anyway. If not, most likely his based on just how Rhinar plays, it's mostly likely going to end up being 6 damage. Which you can use maybe like 1 card in hand to block, because you got to remember you're still drawing another card after you do get that Showtime off.
Yeah, speaking of the Crippling Crushes, I think we've drawn either 1 or or a Spinal.
Something along those lines.
So could Crippling Crush could dominate Crippling Crush if he has drawn the Crippling of 3 blues. Spinal's a lot easier, but we'll see. Looks like that's a pitch for 6. And so that's gonna be an undominated Crippling Crush. So it's just coming in for 9 here, or is it 11?
I agree with not dominating the Crippling Crush, to be honest with you.
Finally get that Arsenal card right
of your opponent's hand. Yeah, exactly, and you get to Arsenal that last card in your hand. Yeah, which I think will be definitely very important. We'll probably end up seeing whatever that Arsenal card is next turn. But it basically makes it so that your opponent can't really pressure you very much, because he's probably going to end up blocking with 3 cards from hand here, if not some of his armor for sure. And there's not really much armor left on the Rhinar side of things, so I think not dominating the Crippling Crush was the right choice here.
Yeah,
either that or he couldn't dominate the Crippling Crush, but
it's also it's quite likely he's not able to as well, right?
Yeah, even if I could, I don't think I would here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, that Arcanite Skullcap is not turned on as well.
Yeah, save that Arsenal card. I think having the Arsenal is pretty key.
So committing the boots, we're going to do like boots plus 2 cards, go up to 10. Yep. Yeah. Sorry, 8, and then not get crushed, take 3. All right, so down to 9 for the Rhinar.
2-card hand to swing back with, and you get an arsenal at the end of all that, which is
Pretty good.
pretty nice. Yeah.
Something to note is that I think Sam Yoon is one of the first players to win a international skirmish in season 2. Pretty large event, almost 200 players. Took it down on Saturday, I believe.
Yep, I think so. Sam is a very good player. I mean, we see him in these gauntlets all the time, and he always does well on stream. Except for that one time where he got ultra sacked by the Kano player. But yeah, he always does really well. He's a great competitor too. I've had my fair share of games against him, and he's always a great guy to play against. So it's strange to see him on Rhinar though. Usually you see him on the Ira, so I guess he's just switching it up this week. He got his fill, winning the big 200-person skirmish, and he said, you know what, I'm changing decks now. I got to get another win with a different deck.
Yeah, I respect it. Looks like we're kind of tanking as the Bravo player, right?
Well, I think
that
Sam right now is deciding how he wants to play out his turn. He might want to have something in the arsenal, but pitching and swinging a claw for 3 probably isn't,
pretty whatever. Yeah,
really doing it for him. Yeah,
I saw Moody consulting the playmat abacus, so I was like, just be deep in thought.
No, that was the impatience abacus.
So it looks like Sam is just Sam's just gonna try to take 2 cards here.
Yeah.
But even at that, like +4/+3, it's not even representing lethal. So if the Bravo player has drawn lethal, then he can do kind of a more conservative block on this, and maybe doesn't need to commit the 2 cards from hand.
Yeah. I mean, the card in his arsenal is not going anywhere either unless the Command and Conquer comes out or something like that. So blocking up here and waiting until... Yeah. Good card.
Yeah.
Blocking up here and being able... I find that these new Rhinar decks are like extremely aggressive. They barely ever block. So, I mean, if you're barely going to block, why have cards with block values? Just put a smash with Big Tree in your deck.
All right.
At least it costs 6, right? So you're like always hitting the intimidates, which is really important.
Spinal
he's blocking with a spinal and
staunch response.
Staunch.
No, not staunch response. Maybe. The other one, the one with the deuce at the table.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called. Stamp Authority. Knew it was
an
S.
Knew it was an S. Yeah. I don't know how you could tell by just seeing like half that art. That I literally had no idea.
Played too much games.
Yeah, seriously. You know the art corners. That's kind of weird. Usually I need the full picture.
All right, so this is gonna be. Oh, it's gonna be head for 6, but it's gonna be a spinal.
Ooh, still play a Spinal Crush. Okay. He's saying, "Give me 2 cards, good sir."
Yeah, so that's.
And then take 3 damage.
Yeah, it's 9 not dominated, so he can commit. Yeah, can't commit the 2 cards. Take the 3 damage. Doesn't really have any armor that he could effectively block with, so. Almost certainly this is 2 cards from hand. It's interesting too. I think the reason why... Well, yeah. Okay. I was just thinking back on the Bravo player's turn, like if he could have blocked with, just the spinal, taking a bit more damage and then dominated, if that would be more significant, but probably not versus Rhinar.
Yeah, versus Rhinar, I feel like you want to be dominating the crippling crushes. The spinals...
Not giving them go against
the effect's still good, but... Yeah.
If they like Alpha Rampage you, it doesn't feel too good, eh?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, okay, cool. Sure, no go again for me. Here's an Alpha Rampage. Enjoy that. And you're like, oh, okay, that sucks. Whereas crippling gets the cards out of their hand, which is what you want.
Both spinals gone. Now we're gonna take a look at the pummels. So I think there was a blue pummel pitch, and then I can't tell if it's double red.
I think it was 2 red pummels. He went by really quick.
Yeah, it looks like 2 red. It's hard
like
to see the
2
color.
Reds to me. Yeah. My assumption is 2 red pummels, so he has nothing to worry about. Interesting that he's asking to see the graveyard here, though. Just because Moody has no cards in hand.
Yeah, no resources.
Arsenal, no resource floating. It's just a straight up spinal for 9 damage. But he might be trying to plan out future turns or decide what exactly he wants to be blocking with here to make the most use out of his cards.
Okay, so Beast Within and Wrecker Romp blocked with there.
You can tell that's a beast with him? Oh my god. I'm trying to figure out what that was, dude. You're crazy. Holy moly. Wow, that was pretty wild. I'm actually shocked.
Yeah, I practice it in my
Dear
free
God.
time.
Yeah, that was that was weird to see.
Are we
Look at that, he's already putting the cards out.
Yeah, I
He
was gonna say,
knows
are we
he's getting
preemptively
intimidated.
getting intimidated here?
I don't even think he looked at his hand. I think he just put the cards on the table and he said, "Go."
Can't be
I don't
disappointed
even want
if
to
you
know what
don't
I
know what you
have.
lost, eh?
Exactly. Hey, sometimes I do that when I'm playing against a Rhino. I draw up and I just put my whole hand on the table. I don't even want to see it. And then I flip over the cards that they intimidated, and I'm like, ugh, yikes. It's not good. Because Rhinos always end up hitting the right cards. I don't know
Ooh,
if you've
speaking of
noticed
right
that.
cards, that's the second one, and this might demand 2 again.
Another red barraging.
Yeah, I was
I think
thinking.
I would prefer to arsenal these barragings, to be honest with you, and wait to
So
be
do
able
I.
to set up a big turn against the Bravo. Because
This
with
isn't.
Bravo, like
Yeah.
you really can just spend 2 cards to block this, and then again, like the hammer is so powerful. If you have 2 cards to swing back with, or even just one card to swing back with, it's
Okay,
it's
so
a lot of
blocking for
damage.
5 and
That's an
taking
unmovable.
2. Yeah, down to 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting choice not to arsenal these, more premium cards, because I don't know. He does get 2 cards out of the Bravo's hands. Like, I'm just wondering what our Bravo player's hand looks like, where, he is kind of always, biting on what Sam is giving him, right? Where Sam is asking for 2 cards, he's always giving him the 2. Hasn't really drawn that crippling, I guess, yet that he can commit to. Yeah, it's just 2 blues. Then we're gonna go ahead and swing for 6. We are gonna create the token, which is significant. At a life total of, I believe, 6 here, it's gonna be pretty hard to not interact with a Rhino coming in for a lot of damage. So that incremental damage we have taken as the Bravo player is gonna be significant.
Yep. Keep in mind that he does still have a good amount of armor up as well. The Sam has 2 points of armor left, I believe. 1 on his skull cap, 1 on his conditional, 1 on his skull
conditional,
cap,
but yeah,
1 on his scab skins. Bravo still got 1, 2, 3 from the gloves, chest, and feet. And then still possible 3 on his skull cap.
So Dante, if he blocks us with just the legs, goes to 1, what does that mean?
We're seeing a Blood Rush Bella for sure. Obviously, there's no other way that this goes. And I think he's trying to weigh it in his head right now if it's worth it to go down to 1 Blood Rush Bellow here and get a big turn, or it might be, similar to his Blood Rush Bellow earlier this game where there was only, 5 damage that he was able to
If
do.
you go to 1, it had, because 1 is just terrible against Bravo because the hammer swings for 4, which will demand 2 cards. But when you're just doing the math on this turn, like, can I kill him next turn? You just absolutely have to factor in that the Bravo player will have 3 points of armor to block with. It's going to be the boots, the gloves, and the chest. The Arcanite Skull Cap as well, sorry, so 4. Because the Arcanite Skull Cap will be off.
Also, if he takes like a smaller amount of damage, his Skull Cap's live too. Oh no, it's not, because you're going down to 1.
Yep.
So Skull Cap's still on though. You can still block with Skull Cap for 1.
For 1.
It becomes an Iron Rod Helm, but
for 4, yeah.
Still there. So 4 points of damage is nothing to scoff at. That's basically 1 full claw swing, plus the cards that'll be left in his hand after the Intimidate resolves, unless he's able to Intimidate everything. And that's where something like a barraging beatdown maybe would have come in handy.
So do we see? We see Smash and Stake and
Pack
Hunt.
Instead.
Interesting. Yeah. So that's the last Pack Hunt. So we're going to play 2 cards in hand. Let's see if we see an Arsenal here. I think swinging for 3 is, especially with that seismic up, is going to be not enough. We know both red barragings are gone. So how is he going to demand multiple cards out of this Bravo's hand?
And assuming that one of those cards is the Blood Rush Bellow, which it looks like it is at this point.
Yeah, it does, right?
It's
so
probably just going to be a one card block here.
Yeah, so it's just going to be
that he takes 3. It, goes down to 3. Yeah, he either takes it here, goes down to 3, and then not only is the Skull Cap live again, but he can also potentially dominate a big attack because he does have the full hand coming through.
There we
But
go.
it's interesting. I don't know how many big attacks that he has in his deck, to be honest with you.
Well, he
I've
definitely has a
seen
second
some
crippling, right?
recent Bravo lists. Yeah, and they seem to be running about two crippling, two spinal, and maybe like
Got the Rouse as
um
well. Rouse the Ancients is another one.
disable. Yeah, Rouse the Ancients. True, true.
Rouse the Ancients
I'd
needs a big
forgotten
hand
about
though,
Rouse.
usually to work with.
Yeah, you do need a full hand.
We know he has another pummel, which is pretty significant. I think a seismic popped as well, so just consider that discount if something gets played.
Yeah, the
That's gonna
pummel
be
would be blue, and it's
uh
still he would have to draw into it because he pitched it early.
yeah. So this could be hammer
Or
for
there's
8 as
two
well.
pummels in the grave.
Yeah, the blue, right? But he had another blue in there as well.
Oh, right, right,
Yeah.
right. True, true, true.
So
Yes.
I don't think we've
That
circled
could
back
be
to the
what's in his
pitch.
hand right
Yeah.
now. No, yeah, that first pummel's still down there for sure. Haven't circled back just yet. But yeah, it could be the other blue one that's in his hand right now.
Yeah, I think you bluff pummel here, and even if he blocks, unless he like it's lethal, which it probably isn't. I think that you just arsenal that pummel,
Yeah, I think so too.
get the discard effect on some little blue attack. We know the other crippling must be coming soon.
Yeah. I wouldn't commit to using the pummel. It's definitely better to save it in this situation to hopefully use on like a larger attack, and maybe if he blocks with 3 cards from hand, you can get the 4th by hitting the pummel there, and then really take tempo back from that point on. So we'll see.
Okay, well now you would pummel.
Just blocking the one.
So
yeah.
Sam pitched the reckless
Now-
swing. He's not there quite yet, so he has one more left in his deck. So he could. It's reasonable for him to have reckless swing in his hand. Doesn't need it because he doesn't pummel. Okay, so maybe that could.
Bluffing the pummel.
Well, it could also be the Bravo player reading that there could be a there could be a reckless swing, because there still is one left in the deck. One was pitched early, but we're not quite there yet. So he could just be playing around that, because committing that blue pummel, if that's what it is, into a reckless swing, is pretty bad. But then again, we do know that the arsenal is
I think I would have forced him to play it out there, just because
the arsenal.
if he has the same read as us, we know that card in his arsenal is a Blood Rush Bellow.
Yeah.
There's no confusing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty face up, and as you can see now, he's getting barraging.
Plus-
His whole hand's probably getting intimidated here,
So we got +5. Yeah.
and this could end up being the game and spelling doom for him. If it was a reckless swing in the hand, then he plays the reckless swing. You're still at 6 life, so you don't care. You go down to 4, but he still has to discard another card from hand. So you're still getting
It was
cards out
there.
of his hand.
Yeah.
It
Wow.
was a reckless
So it's
swing.
it's Tervalin from Lim. So it's basically both. We are both right.
Yeah.
Sam, by the way, just rips out off the top. Doesn't even look. So guess
the
guaranteed
way
to
to
be
do
a
it.
6 here.
He can't be disappointed.
All right, we got the Tervalin from Lim. We're floating 2 resources. Ooh. Yep.
It's a
Yellow riled
Riled
up.
up?
Yep.
Yep.
And what are we rolling for? Oh, the intimidate. Just give him the old left or right.
Yeah, seriously. 1 or 2.
So we have Heart and Cross up available. So like surely this is lethal, right? Because it's +6. It's Tervalin from Lim is +6, right?
Yeah, Tervalin from Lim is +6.
So we have
just
+11
just
currently.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no way that he survives this with 1 card in his hand.
Yeah,
Unless there's like a sink below in his arsenal or something like that, and the barraging
Yeah, I
beatdowns
mean-
get taken out, and then he blocks with the 4 points of armor he has left. But
Well, let's think like staunch response. So we'd have 5 + 4 on his armor. So we could block for 9. So there's some scenarios where he lives, right?
yeah, maybe.
It's at 11 currently. So yeah, Sam's currently at +11. Oh wow, rolled the scab skins. That's why you bring the gambler's gloves, baby. Okay.
For action points, oh, I see. Two.
Does Tervalin from Lim affect the claw?
That I don't know. I think it's just your next brute attack action. My guess is that he just wanted to
You swift.
hit the intimidate, get a card out of his hand.
Plus it's
Yeah, and then maybe be able to play an attack action. But if not, it's not the end of the world. because now he only has one card to block with against the double barraging, right?
Yeah, so this is going to be, this is currently 8. A lot of armor to work with. Obviously, going to swing with the other claw here. 3 resources.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, brute attack action. So that tail limb from limb is going to do nothing. Okay, so got the card in hand. Let's just say we block for. We have 7 total block value as the Bravo. We're coming in for 8. We block. Then the next one only comes in for 3.
Yeah, so it looks like he's gonna block with the full.
Yes, I think the Bravo player can live here.
Or just blocks 3. Yeah.
Yeah, blocking 3 down to 1. Okay, now he swings the other claw. And the other claw is for. It's only for 3, right?
For 3, yeah. Now you just block with the card left in your hand.
Yep. It's Crippling Crush.
Oh, the Crippling Crush.
Still, Bravo. The Bravo player is in like.
One, but...
Yeah, Bravo player's in a much better spot, right? The Reckless Swing is gone.
Yeah, for sure.
The other one is pitched. His hammer is going to take 2 cards. We think he has a pummel in his hand. So super favorable.
Arsenal.
Yeah, sorry, in his arsenal. Yeah, so super favorable for the Bravo player in this scenario. And then again,
Seismic Surge token too, which can't be forgotten about. It's very important. But we'll see if he's able to dominate a big attack here. I mean, there's 1 point of armor left on the Scab Skins. No, there isn't, because he used it to block. He has no armor left. He has nothing in his arsenal. If he's able to dominate an attack here, I mean, the Reckless Swings are gone. I don't think that they're running any other
Are they both gone?
in these new brute decks.
I think
the Reckless Swings?
Yeah, I thought it was only one. One was pitched early, one was just played. I don't think, unless
one was pitched early, and then one was just pitched now. But I don't think.
Oh, it was pitched. Sorry, for some reason I thought it was played. Got it. Yeah. So I mean, you just dominate anything.
Very early. Yeah, exactly.
And yep, that should be enough.
Did he dominate that though? What attack is that?
That's debilitate.
Because I know you know.
Yeah, that's debilitate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And that'll end up doing it. Very well played. Sam unfortunately just didn't have that attack action in hand to be able to make use of that tear limb from limb.
Yeah, now Moody's just got to flip his arsenal so I can confirm. Yeah,
I'd love to know if there was a pummel in there, but
for sure. Yeah, I mean, really interesting match.
I don't think he's flipping it.
Yeah, really interesting match. Saw Sam go for that tear limb from limb play. Looks like he had a sand sketched as well in that hand, so I don't know if he kind of like 50-50 the discard or the draw, because we saw I didn't look at the draw, so hard to say. But yeah, really interesting. We see a kind of a throwback to Welcome to Wraith, maybe a little bit of tune-ups in the deck. Tail limb from limb, smash the big tree. Did we see anything out of the Rousey Ancients? Yeah, so that big turn. Yep. So pretty cool. And yeah, so that
was a staunch in the arsenal, by the way, not
a staunch.
So he was jebaiting him.
Just sandbagging.
And he jebaited us too.
Yeah. So yeah, sweet throwback. Good first game of week 11. As always, got to shout out the sponsors, which is Deck Edge, providing all the prizes to these players, helping us put on this event for, like I said, 11 weeks now, which is pretty crazy to think. And we actually have some spicy news for you. We talk about it every week. He's got a Patreon, so it's like close to MSRP. So if you're able to get in, it's really the way to go if you're playing or collecting. But there is a problem, Dante, and that is it's pretty hard to get in. But we got a little bit in.
A little birdie told me there are spots open now.
Right now, yeah, for probably the next 20 minutes, 1 hour. We'll see what it is, but they go fast. So just open for this tournament. So if you want to get in, now's your time. Either getting that Kingdoms First Edition or some of the new Unlimited product coming down the line, whether it be Crucible or Monarch or some of the old stuff. Up to you. But yeah, there are spots open, so go snag them while you can. With that, we're going to take a quick break and then heading to round 2. Thanks.
See you guys in a bit.
All right, welcome back for round 2 of FAB Gauntlet Week 11. Right now we have Kano versus Ira, but it's a bit of a special Kano. This is a past Gauntlet champion in the form of a Mike. On the other side of the board is actually Jacob Burns, which was the first player in the United States to hit 1,000 XP. Dante, tell me a little bit more about this matchup. Tell me about Mike. I'm going to go ahead and update these names.
Yeah, most people know Mike as a Dorinthia player, but he recently decided that he did not like that deck anymore and has completely converted to a Kano player. So this is all he plays now. He's no longer on the Dory hype train, and he's gotten quite good at the deck. He won a Gauntlet on it, which is no small feat, and he's up against Jacob Burns on the Ira today. Ira into Kano is it's a tough matchup for Kano. It's a tough matchup for Ira as well if the Kano's rolling hot. So it really could go either way. I think that key points are, as the Ira player, it's really important to put on as much pressure as you can, as fast as you can. And usually that comes in the form of breaking the boots as soon as humanly possible.
Yeah, we do see Null Rune 3 here, by the way. I think that's pretty standard nowadays. There was a bit of a conversation about Null Rune 4 back in the day, but you will just get OTK'd. That being said, Mike's got the standard suite, the wizard suite. I think one of the key things to look out for in this, double Kodachi, that's also really interesting. Good note. Kodachi over the needle. It's going to make it significantly easier for a Kano player here. Mike doesn't play the unmovable, I believe. Even if he did, I think that you probably would still want to play the needle, but we will have to see if the Ira player is running double razor and double sigil sauce. Well, there's the first one. That significantly helps the matchup. But we see 2 reds pitched and a red sigil sauce played. Mike has only committed 1 card to this block, so likely going to Kano at the end of the Ira player's turn here. And And is
just
he
see what he sees. But yeah, I don't know about running 1 Kodachi. It decreases a lot of the pressure that you have in the game, and you really want to keep up as much pressure as possible. The needle is just so much more threatening. It really forces cards out of the Kano's hand.
Ooh, he whiffs the Kano.
And he whiffs the top deck. So
Ivophidia is drawn.
Draw up. Yep. Exactly. If he pitches it, I mean, you're absolutely right.
Nah, it could be. I mean, it probably has to be something like Ivophidia or Nourishing Emptiness, right? Because like anything else you would play, you would play any blue. Like
yep, just chip some damage in. Nothing. You don't have to do anything special.
Yeah. So we'll see how Mike. Is that a card? Oh no, so I'm confused about what's going on here. Does Jacob have a full hand? Okay, so that's not bad. Maybe it was Stir.
Stir's a good way to start here.
Yeah, he could have actually found Stir. He did find Stir on the top, so it's just going to be Stir, Aether Spindle. It's going to be coming in for 7, threatening an Opt 7 as the hit trigger, which is a lot. You let that hit, you die.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I had to let it hit one time against my friend Guy, and he double blazing me the turn after, and I couldn't even say anything because he just set it up right off the top, and it felt terrible.
Taking 4 is unpleasant as well, because basically Mike just gets to fix that whole next hand.
Yeah.
That being said, opting 4 is
them all on top.
Yeah, opting 4 is bad, but opting 5 is terrible. If you let them off 5, they do get to fix the hand and the top of the deck, and that is a worst case scenario.
Now we'll see what Jacob's able to come back with here.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if I'm Mike, I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, he's only got the other Kodachi, so it's not really all that much damage that's going to be coming through, to be honest with you.
Yeah, did have the double blue hand, luckily, on that side. That's flying kick, very nice. But Mike just opted a 4-card hand, and now Jacob Burns is basically shields down. There we go. Talismanic Lens popped immediately, and we are going to see Mike try to go off on this. I mean, this is what Dante talks about this a lot, and the way to kind of beat Kano is that there has to be a point where you just don't respect them, right? You just have to make them have it. Jacob is at a healthy life total at 19, but yeah, I mean, Kodachi flying kick is after a 4 opt is scary.
Here's the thing: you got to be able to present lethal when you're doing that, though.
Exactly.
If he's not presenting lethal here, then Like Mike could very easily just take this and still go through with the full turn, and then have room left to still be able to kill you after.
Yep.
You have to be able to present lethal on turns like these. I think I would have preferred to arsenal the flying kick, especially after watching my opponent opt his entire hand and keep everything on top. That kind of signals to me that the hand's got to be pretty good. If I'm going to be pitching to playing cards, I want to keep one in hand to prevent him from wanting to go off, because I can block some of the damage. Here he knows you have nothing to block with, so he just has to come up with a way to deal 19 damage, or at least close to that, and then just be able to chip you down.
Yeah.
With something like a Voltic Bolt.
We said shields down, but I mean Jacob does still have 2 resources floating here because he did have the triple blue hand. So you know, it could be worse. We do double
Shields
top
down enough, yeah.
Yeah, double top. The lens has been exhausted. Significant resource out of the Kano player. We'll see if he opts to use the boots, or he's just gonna Kano those both off the top. Oh, we're blocking.
Block, yeah.
Oh.
You just said I don't really need this card that badly.
Interesting. And looks like he's just gonna let Jacob end his turn. Yeah, just didn't find what he needed on top, and there's the energy potion at the end of Jacob's turn.
Oh, another E-Pot.
Whoa! Did he just Talismanic Lens in a double E-Pot?
That spells doom.
Jeez, that is so lucky. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't imagine this goes very well for Jacob after seeing the double E-Pot hit the playmat there.
Oh my goodness.
That is terrifying.
Jacob is at a healthy life total, but geez, double E-Pot is terrible. All right, we are going to block the second one. There's our tome. And there's an E-Strike for 7. So you did mention threatening lethal. This does threaten lethal here. Jacob is going to be able to sandbag a card in hand as well. I assume he's playing 2 sigils, so that's going to actually throw off the Kano's math quite a bit. I think Kano wins this in the longer game, but maybe Jacob can surprise him with something. I mean, this could also be a Razor Reflex, right?
Yeah, for sure. And if it is a Razor and he ends up blocking with maybe 1 card, for example. Pretty bad. But
Pounding Gale or something? Yeah, Pounding Gale.
It is a Pounding Gale.
Pretty good. Yeah, so Mike's going to have to block with his entire
hand. Unless it's a...
Yep.
Oh,
and there's the Voltic, too.
Bolt. Yikes, not what you want to be seeing.
Ooh, Ira player at 19.
Good boots turn from the Ira player. That's what you want to be doing.
For sure.
Put on a huge amount of pressure, draw right back up here, and just keep it going.
Mike has 5 resources sitting on the board, though. That is insane. But still, I mean, a Razor Reflex here is really, really good. I mean, there's just so many things. Because 19 is really hard to do. 19 is a lot of damage for this Kano player to get through.
It'll be the Razor, yeah, but this will be the last turn of the game for sure.
So he's got to float the resource off the Tunic. Probably has a nice hand here. There's Torrent Tempo committed. Jacob burns 2 cards in hand. We'll see. This is Mike's time. 5. He does have the 5 resources and the 4 cards in hand, 1 card in arsenal. So we could see it.
Being at 19 life is pretty tough to get
tough
through.
one,
I thought he'd be able to chip some more damage through before he'd have to use the energy potions, but it's definitely going to make it tough. So he's going to use one here to
E-Pot
start
to Kano,
one off the top. Yeah.
Blind Kano, by the way. If he hits I, auto lose, right?
Yep. Oh, basically. There's no chance for you if you hit the eye.
Okay.
So you got to hope that you don't.
Red Voltic in hand.
Yeah, some Voltic Bolt in hand.
It's a promotional one, so I think it's red.
The blue ones come in promo as well.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Not a touch. Oh, is that red? No, it's blue. Okay. That was red. Surely that would be absolutely disgusting. But Jacob hopefully has the other blue to sandbag here, because then he will be able to block out all 3 of this, which is... Okay, so he does block the 3 on the 8th of flare. I thought it was going to be a double red. Not blocking 8th flare would be surely Spell Doom. 1 floating resource is...
He's completely shields down now, right? There's just
yeah, I don't know why that die says 1, right? Because it's 3 for what's on the combat chain.
3, yeah. So we'll see if Mike's able to do 19 here.
Oh man,
is it possible without a double blazing?
Yeah, for sure. Just I mean, if you ever want to think it so we know Stir, Forked, Metacarpus does 14 damage, big damage combo. We know the Lesson in Lava combos. but you need a pretty big hand for that. So if you're ever going to be like, how do we break the math on like how much damage Kano could do? It's pretty much just Sonic Booming into like silly stuff. Like Sonic Boom into Sonic Boom into like, Forked or something. And that's really, and like Aether Flares as well, but we did kind of whiff on our Aether there with the blue. So honestly, I don't think it can do it, but we'll see. But I don't know. This is the most interesting part of Kano's when they have to do these, kind of ridiculous amounts of damage that you can't really, it's not really easy to think about them initially.
It's difficult to wrap your head around.
Yeah, because it's usually like a chain of, cards coming together. There's a blue Voltic. This is going to be an important one. Okay, Chain Lightning, that's pretty good. We'll be able to play out of hand. So you were right. That is a blue Voltic as the promo as well. Chain Lightning could be a good hit, but I assume we might have to find Blazing now. Even then, a lot of damage.
Yeah, just a lot of damage. Any read on what might be in his arsenal?
No reads. No. I mean, the game just went too fast, right? Like,
yeah.
I think if it was like in a more ideal scenario, Mike would be able to poke more, so it could be like one of those more pokey cards.
Yeah, usually the games that I find that I lose pretty quick when I'm playing against Kano are the ones where they're able to get me to like that 10-11 health range, and then before I'm able to put them on lethal. If I'm sitting 19 health and I'm Jacob Burns here, I'm feeling pretty good, to be honest with you. They would have to have like just an amazing hand here to be able to deal that much damage to me, or if the hand's not that amazing, they'd have to get pretty lucky off the top to be able to come in for that much damage.
Mike has exhausted a lot of resources too.
And it was all to play basically one.
He has 2 floating though. Okay, so he still has the 2 floating. Got it. I was wondering where it went. Okay, so we are gonna play the Chain Lightning, but we pitched, so maybe he doesn't have the 2 floating. I'm wrong.
Put the 2 floating up there, so chain cost 1.
Okay.
Another Chain Lightning. Okay.
So we can go 6, 12. I mean, and then he could double Blazing with the boots, right?
Nope. And then he just puts the other cards on the table and says, "Good game."
That's it. That's how
if you're able to power through as the Ira player. I mean, the matchup can definitely go pretty fast and be not that hard for you.
He blocked.
Oh, he blocked.
He blocked.
See. Oh, okay, gotcha.
He blocked.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah,
I thought he lost. I thought he just said, I give up.
I honestly thought he tossed him up too. But
yeah.
That man blocked. Okay, Kadachi lethal. Give me a card.
I thought he scooped.
Oh, he's gonna give him a card. Okay, wow.
Oh, he is gonna
a lot of respect. I mean, maybe his hand blows, right?
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Flick Flack, another Kadachi.
Okay. Oof, red Aether Spindle.
Hope for nothing with Go again here.
Yep. What is it going to be? That's a blue Flick Flack, right? Yep.
Yeah, it is a blue Flick Flack. He does have 2 floating right now. A blue Soul Bead Strike.
Okay.
That's not what you want to see.
Okay, that's 1 Blazing Aether gone. And then do we have the Razor? Probably not, because we would just slam that down. Nope, we're going to Arsenal.
I think so too.
Maybe he doesn't Arsenal. Maybe it's a blue. He just sandbags. But Kano getting another turn here, plus the Arsenal is huge. Yep. Oh, it was a blue. So it's just a blue. He didn't Arsenal there.
Still has those boots up as well.
Oh, man. Mike actually might be able to steal this one back. But this is crazy. This Kadachi is basically saying, go for it now or you don't, right? Because he has to block it every time.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. What do you have? It's 14, and we're on null rune 3. That's a lot. If he was on 11, there's like a very, very easy combo there. But we are immediately going. We're +2. Resources have been exhausted. There's our Sonic Boom. Okay.
We're seeing what we hit off the top, I guess.
Yeah. All right, so that's going to be Sonic Boom for 5. We're going to block 3. We're going to take 2. We're down to 12. And then, is that what we need? That is a Scalding Rain for 2.
Not what you need.
Scalding Rain for 2 is probably not going to do it. But that's going to be Scalding Rain for 3.
I still don't think that's what you need.
I don't think so.
But he hasn't scooped the cards yet, so he must still have something in his hand or in his arsenal or something along those lines.
All right, so he's taking 3 total damage, and we have 8. Okay, yeah.
I see, yeah. Is it done?
Pounding
Okay,
Gale.
there we go. Yeah, pounding Gale. Yeah, that'll do it.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Alrighty, yeah, sorry. Sometimes you can't tell when they're scooping it up or blocking, such as last turn. But yeah, that'll do it here.
Yeah, I mean, we saw I mean, I think I saw one of the craziest Kanos of my life, which was Kano double E-Pot. That was nuts. But yeah, Jacob playing that well, pressuring his life total, going for lethal, making him have it. I was surprised how long it went, how many turn cycles Kano was actually able to have after that at 1 health. Super surprising. Potato.
Oh,
I got it.
Go.
And Dante Brennan. 2-man scene.
Green regions, let's go.
Boom, let's go. That's what happens when people leave early, like they're told not to do, actually. But yeah, I mean, interesting match. We do see the Ira take down the Kano. Maybe we can have Jacob give Dante some tips, since I know he's had some trouble with that matchup.
Yeah, I have no luck versus Kanos.
But he's running the Sigil Solace. Sigil Solace is so good. And he's running the Razors as well. So it's like we talked about, double Razor, double Sigil. I didn't see Fate Foreseen in it. Or sorry. Yeah, is it Fate Foreseen? Yeah, it is. Fate Foreseen and Sync Blow in his deck, which definitely doesn't do many favors. But yeah, I mean, pretty standard game. Trying to kill him from 19, very tough. And our Sonic Boom hit a blue Scalding Rain. So.
The exact opposite of what you want to see. But
yeah, it's about as bad as it gets.
Sometimes it happens. I mean, Kano is inherently one of the higher variance decks in the Blitz format, so sometimes you're going to be rolling hot, and sometimes you're going to run into a brick wall like Mike just did there, and there's not really much that you can do about it.
For sure. Interested to see if we can see Mike crawl his way back up to the top 8 and, maybe get that 2-time champion. But with that said, Jacob Burns now sitting at 2-0, so a contender as well. But yeah, big shout out to Deck Edge, our sponsor, and we'll take a pretty decent break and head into round 3. It's going to be 6 rounds of Swiss tonight, and then a cut to top 8. So be right back, and we'll see you then. back to round 3. We do have tower number 9 on the Warrior, his classic multi-gauntlet champion against Endgame on Prism. So it should be interesting. Prism. What are your thoughts on Prism in Blitz, Dante?
I haven't seen too many Prisms in Blitz, to be honest with you, Brendan. This is very new for me. I was playing in a skirmish this weekend, and actually Rob Seigel was on a Prism deck.
Yeah.
I think he had to drop from that skirmish to go play in another skirmish, which is the Rob Classic. But he was doing pretty well. He was undefeated the last time that I spoke to him when we were, I guess, playing out the rounds. So he must have been doing all right. And I'm interested in seeing what this Prism deck will be able to do. It seems like it's just a lot of attack spam with giving it go again with Luminaris and everything like that. And kind of just chipping away with your spectral shields. So
Yeah.
it'll definitely be interesting. I haven't seen any Prism Blitz games.
Did I tell you about my experience against Prism? First game? I was on Kano. I let the Prism go first. Herald of Erudition. So I can't block it. I block for 3, take 2. They draw 2 cards. They have a Yellow Pitch Pummel in play, and they get go again. I take 2 damage. They play Phantasmaclasm for 9. I reveal my hand. It has a 3-block, a 3-block, and a Tome, which is a 2-block. He puts the Tome on the bottom. I draw Eye of Ophidia. I block for 6. And then after that is Wartune Herald Red. I was down at 3. It's pretty nice.
Pretty good turn.
Pretty nice.
Oh, that's funny. Oh my god. Oh, that's hilarious. Wow. You that's definitely not the best thing that could happen for you.
Genesis turn 1's pretty decent, allowing him to draw that card and charge his soul. Sorry, not charge his soul, but put something into his soul.
Yeah, if Davis chooses not to attack it here, then he will be charging his soul with the Genesis, and you can get a lot of value off that Genesis for sure if your opponent isn't actively looking to.
For sure, and Davis has to attack this, right? Like, because if you don't attack this, I mean, you're gonna run away with the game with Genesis. But if Davis does attack this, he just like time walks himself and takes a turn off, which is terrible.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I
think this is the turn to get rid of it for sure. But that being said, I mean, I haven't played against any Prisms myself. It's definitely possible that maybe Davis hasn't played against any Prisms either.
Yep. This
should be an interesting match either way.
If it's not a Genesis, that's a dangerous game, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're just gonna block for 6. Wow, it's not a Genesis.
So he's not attacking the Genesis.
He must have a gas hand to do that.
Yeah, seriously, he loves living life on the edge, I suppose, because I would have taken out the Genesis Arsenal and called it a day.
Yeah.
That is very interesting. I guess we'll see what he ends up playing here. 3 attack reactions, maybe. Iron Song and 2/1 cost.
Okay, the glint, but then so glint plus like attack reaction.
Twinning?
I mean, even that doesn't feel like fantastic, right? Glint twinning on a vanilla Dawnblade's like whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we find like one more. And the second time we swing, we break Genesis. That's the highest value we can get here.
Yeah, I think so too.
So we have to find another attack reaction and be able to swing into Genesis on the second.
Yeah. Putting the middle card back. So he likes the card he drew, and that other card was just not the
Wow.
over for 1 with the blue
bro.
Iron Song response. Sheesh.
Sometimes it just be like that, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes it do just be like that. Jeez. Gets cards out of his opponent's hand, swings again, and I'm assuming he's attacking Genesis this time. Yep. And then he just gets to arsenal that last card in his hand and pass. So he got to do everything that he wanted to do, and he broke the Genesis and got a point of damage in as well.
It's about as good as that one gets.
Yeah, I guess so. Now, that being said, I'm not sure exactly what his that card he put on the bottom was. I don't think that he would have gone for that play without another attack reaction. It might have been like a red Iron Song response or something, and he preferred to just grab the blue for just to get over for the 1. He doesn't necessarily need to, threaten a huge amount of damage. And if he plays the Singing Steel Blade later in the game, then he can go and search out that red Iron Song response.
Yeah.
Which gives him more options.
Yeah, it's Wartune for 7 with go again, so it could be double Wartune, which would kind of suck.
Yeah. I mean, depending on how much he wants to keep his hand here, He might throw the full fridge in front of it, which would not be advised, but he is going to throw a good portion of the fridge in front of
Yeah.
it. Just takes that red overpower out of his hand, and then he'll be able to swing back here. No, they're just called auras, right? There's
What
nothing,
are?
no special name, no like Spectra auras
No.
on the opponent's side
Spectral
here.
shields, but yeah.
Yeah. The text on the auras though, it's Spectra, right?
I mean, do I look like a philosopher to you?
Maybe you've played some Prism. I have no idea. Well, whatever. I think it's Spectra. The Spectra auras.
It's tomato, bro. Who cares?
Yeah. Trying to be correct.
I'm kidding. So it was a red out for blood, I think.
Yeah, a little red out for blood.
Yeah. So interesting though. I think this is actually like a pretty bad matchup for Dorinthia, just because those auras can be pretty rough. We saw Davis maneuver around the Genesis, which is nice, but then this Prism, if their hand isn't completely destroyed by the Warrior player, they can just kind of go swing for 14 like every turn. It feels like.
Yep.
That being said, Prism does need a hand to do that.
And we're just coming in with the sword here again. We'll see if the Prism player decides to block this one out or take the damage, let him have the counter, and try and come back with a big hand of their own.
5 on
Prism
the
can
Gauntlet
definitely
is
deal.
correct.
Yeah, Prism can definitely deal a lot of damage on their turn here, and if they're gonna block 5, they're gonna have to block with 2 cards from hand. So they might just be choosing to take it here. We'll see, but Prism can deal a lot of damage on their turn.
Yeah, I mean, if you give it's a blue out for blood, by the way. If you give Tower this counter, he's just gonna try to race you. Both these guys are, so I'm interested to see if they both just try to ape and just race.
I mean, we'll find out pretty quick here.
Yeah, blocking for 5 is gonna demand 2 cards, or blocked with 1, so.
I just don't know if you win a race against a Dorinthia with a Dawnblade counter. That's the only issue.
You'd be surprised, man. Prism slaps. Yeah.
I don't know how much Prism slaps when you're at 20 life and you still have a whole bunch of armor left to be able to block with that. Right?
Armor's pretty good, so I think we're gonna see at least 2 Heralds come out, or maybe Herald into Phantasmaclasm or something like that, or maybe Herald of Erudition Pummel, the classic. That is very okay. So we do have the go again there, and that's gonna be Herald of Triumph for 7, I believe. 7 with go again. Tower cannot break it with his Command and Conquers.
Nope. Or his Nourishing Emptiness if he's running those. I've seen those in a few Dory decks. We saw Sharif running it a couple weeks ago, and it worked out pretty well for him. So it looks like he's just going to let that one hit.
Yep.
He's going to make Spectral Shield. What did he tap the Vestige for? Oh, I see.
Yeah, so he gets the extra resource.
To make a Spectral Shield, but he still gets that extra resource. Now he can poke for 1 with the Spectral Shield.
Down to 12. 12 all. Okay, so there's a Herald of Ravages. It's only for 6, though. But yeah, I mean, like someone said in chat, like Herald of Erudition just kind of, like, if he had that this turn with Pummel, that just brings, I mean, drawing the 2 cards with Goian is so disgusting.
If
and
you
then
have
the
Pummel
ripping,
I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, just ripping a card as well. It's like, ugh.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see if Davis decides to defend this one. Looks like he is gonna block out with another red overpower
last
from his
one.
hand. Yeah.
Good choice. I think you're in a decent position having this counter, but you do only have 3 cards in hand now. Maybe enough.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to make the most out of those 3 cards.
Ooh.
Iron Song Determination would probably help though, especially if you're breaking the
yeah, those are 2 cards.
Breaking the Courage. Yeah. So here we go. Sword's coming in for 5, dominated now.
Spectral Shield is up, so we could block with Vestige and demand the reaction.
Yeah, pitch to block with the Footsteps as well, maybe.
True. Unfortunately, we can't get value out of it with, like, making a Spectral Shield out of the Soul.
Yeah, well, the issue also becomes you do that block and then he just pumps it, comes over anyway.
Yep.
Gives it go again with the boots, and now you're Vestige of Soul is gone. You've lost another card from
It's
your
two
hand.
cards from hand, my dude.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do that one, my friend. It might
It
have
has
to be
Le
just the Soul
Dominate.
Shield block, yeah.
Yeah, that is dominated.
Yeah, but at least Davis knows what's coming on the second swing.
Maybe, right? Like, I guess, I
Yeah.
don't know. Because he has to pitch for that. Oh, no, he doesn't. He has the courage. Yeah, you just jam. Oh, he's got the pummel. So it's going to Arsenal pummel here, which is pretty good. Dumba doesn't get
I'm
another
surprised
counter.
you caught that. Even I missed that, but I was looking at a different screen. And then he's coming over with the red out for blood.
That feels terrible.
Yeah, this is gonna be a race you lose. Two counters on the sword.
Yeah,
That's a good Iron Song determination turn for sure. That's what you want to be seeing.
that is
So
GG, as they say.
yeah, it's gonna be a tough one to come back from.
Soul Food,
So it looks
luckily.
like he's gonna choose to make a Spectral Shield instead of arsening that pummel.
Interesting.
And then he'll just be
Swing with it.
swinging for one, which I'm sure Davis does not mind taking.
Surely, yep, that 11.
Yep.
Interesting choice not to arsenal the pummel, but then again, he probably will not survive for much longer.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Might need that Spectral Shield to block out this huge turn that's going to come.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the old Dawn Blade for 5, right?
Yeah, pitch 1, deal 5 damage. Pretty good. Especially with additional cards in your hand. I mean, I don't really think you can get much better than that. When the Dawnblade has 1 counter, it's scary. When it has 2 counters, it's terrifying. So we'll see if he can get 3 this game. Starting with a Sharpened Steel 2, that's definitely a good way to do it.
Oop, there's that. So those are cards. We have 8. We have 10. This is Dawnblade for 10. You have to block for 12, but the pump makes it 13. And he keeps the counters.
Yep.
Surely there's like no
wash, rinse, and repeat next turn.
Yeah, I mean, you could throw a Vestige in front of it, but then maybe that's too rough. Actually, he is on lower life, so he can't throw the Arcanite Skull Cap in front of it. So yeah, he can block 14. Oh, or 13, I mean. Oof, that's only going to be a block for 12. This is currently a 10.
Yeah, something tells me there's a red attack reaction in that hand, too. And he's going to come and swing over it. Unless his opponent just read him like a book.
Read him like a book.
Read him like a book is actually how it went. Gets those counters off the Dawnblade, and the life totals are relatively even.
And we're gonna swing. Yep.
Swing for 1 with the old Spectral Shield and pass.
So
we're back to even life.
Yeah.
Just 10
so one thing we missed was the Spectral Shield would have made that 13.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so it would have stopped the counters anyway because the on-hit trigger doesn't count.
Forgot about that Spectral Shield.
Mm-hmm. I think this is like, okay, this is just Red Warriors Valor, 6 Dawnblade, conditional go again.
How can you tell? Can you see that? I can't see that. It's all blurry on my
crystal
screen.
clear.
Wow, that's crazy. It is a Red Warriors Valor, though, now I can see.
Interesting block for 4. What's the idea behind that?
That I'm not too sure
one
of.
Spectral
He
Shield?
might have an additional
Wait, what?
defense reaction.
Okay, that one I'm confused about. Because he loses Spectral Shield and he takes 1, tower gets go again.
I was gonna say maybe he's got like a soul shield in there in his hand or something, and he wants to stop like a singing steel blade or something along those lines. But no, that's not gonna do it. He's just swinging for 3 here, right? He didn't.
No, he did pump. It is for 4, so we are gonna see this goal cap. Okay, and
I would imagine that he's gonna buff this.
Surely.
Unless he didn't draw into one, which would just be
he drew all of his Nourishing Emptiness and Yellow Raging Onslaughts, right?
Yeah. The tech cards. We'll see. Just taking his time to think about it. It would be it would be a real shame if it was a Nourishing Emptiness that he drew instead, but it looks like it's gonna be the Singing Steel Blade.
Every time they think it's that card.
Yeah.
I swear if the warrior Tower doesn't do it, luckily, but if they touch the graveyard, Nourishing Emptiness, by the way. I love
In-
sometimes when they search, you know how they go through their whole deck and they just reveal
Yeah.
the entire deck.
It's interesting that he chose not to play the Singing Steelblade last turn and then grab like an Iron Song response or something like that.
Yep, would have kept two counters.
To keep the counters on his sword. He chose to Arsenal instead, which is, I guess he found more value in keeping it in the arsenal. I think I would have preferred to have kept the counters on my sword, but to each their own. It seems to be working out for him here. So looks like he's going to be getting another counter on his sword after this one.
He's going to reprise Stroke of Foresight, draw a card.
Take a look at the top, yeah. Kind of fix up what he puts in his arsenal here. Choose whatever's better and then put the other one either on the top or the bottom, depending if he likes it. So definitely, I mean, a pretty good turn, to say the least. You get another counter on your sword and you get to choose the card that's going into your arsenal.
Yep, and the prison player is at 5 with 2 cards in hand. So they may come at you for... could come at you for 9 with a Phantasmaclasm.
Yeah, I was going to say, how much damage can...
Tower, interestingly, cannot block a Herald of Erudition currently, though. He would get hit. But for 1, and we would draw 2 cards as the prison player. So if we have Herald of Erudition and a yellow, I think there's an option to stabilize here.
Unless he's got that sneaky
well, Dreamweaver's going to turn that
springboard
off.
somersault in the arsenal.
Oh,
I know
the
that he is a
springboard,
fan of the springboard.
Oh!
It is a Herald of Erudition. Oh my goodness.
Look at that. Look at that.
The Prophet.
You're wondering how I read the cards when they're fuzzy, bro. I read them when you can't even see them.
The Prophet. That's crazy. Yeah, so we'll see if it is that springboard somersault.
Correct. He
we
could
had
shunt
talked
it,
about
but he
before.
does not play the shunts.
Do you know that for sure?
Well, he showed me his
You
entire.
didn't see anything when you went through the
Yeah, he
deck?
showed me his entire deck. So yeah, I'm pretty
Any
sure.
springboards in there when he was going through?
I did not, but I could have missed that one. Nope.
Interesting. Yeah, he's just gonna block for 3 here.
Oh! Fuck!
I knew it. I knew it, man. I knew it. Oh God. Yeah, the old yellow springboard somersault.
Dang.
Not that it comes in any other colors, but
Yeah.
that'll do it. I think that kind of seals the deal here.
For sure. It's pretty good for Tower.
Yeah, he definitely. I think he probably would have chose to block with the bracers and the springboard if he needed that blue in his hand. So I'm assuming he probably has another blue, and that Out for Blood wasn't very useful.
Need
for
another
him
blue,
until
you
I
say,
see him pitch a Steelblade Supremacy, and think perhaps I'm wrong about that one.
He has the red overpower. No, because he blocked.
Nope,
with
he
both.
blocked with both, so it would have to be a blue overpower or something like that here.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he chose to block with a blue from hand, especially if he had like a Supremacy in hand.
We're blocking for 6 too, which is interesting.
Yeah. Maybe he felt it was more necessary to keep up the point of armor. Ooh, a Singing Steelblade. Okay, there
got
we
it.
go.
So that makes sense. Wants 2 resources for, I guess, the route,
Yeah.
potentially. Oh, there's the other springboard. It's right on top. 4, 5, 8, -3. So
Does
that's
his opponent have the Soul Shield in hand?
yeah, it's lethal outside of Soul Shield.
Yeah, that'll close out the game if you don't have the Soul Shield in hand. So we'll see if his opponent plays it here. He hasn't extended the virtual handshake of concession.
There it
He hasn't
is.
scooped. Oh, there
Double
it is.
Phantasmify.
Yep, that's not going to do it, unfortunately.
I can't believe the the Herald of Erudition. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was like perfectly. It was that, and then you had the springboard, which I guess makes sense. I mean, he parked that springboard in his arsenal probably literally just for that play. So yeah, congratulations to Tower. Is now 3-0 in this tournament. I think he's won the Gauntlet like 4 times. So
Something like that. Yeah.
prolific player here around these parts, and it was awesome to see Prism. I actually think the Prism player played really well, so it was cool to see. But with that, we'll take a quick break before heading to round 4. And just want to shout out Deck Edge as well. Has a Patreon if you're able to get into it. Sells at pretty much MSRP. That applies to first edition product and unlimited. And he has told us that just for this tournament and tonight, there actually are some spots open. So I recommend you get in while you can, whether it is going to be for, Crucible of War Unlimited, Monarch Unlimited, maybe, Sneaky Kingdoms First Edition. But that is the place to go whether you're collecting or playing. So check them out. With that, we'll take a quick break and head into round 4. Thanks. welcome back to round 4 of the FAB Gauntlet. We have Kano. This is going to be Dominic. He's undefeated currently once again against Jacob Burns, the first player in the US to hit 1000 XP on that Ira again. We do know the Ira is playing double Sigil and double Razor, so traditionally pretty hard for Kano to deal with those cards. And yeah, I mean, I know Dominic is from Canada, right? Right, Dante?
What did you say? You just spoke so quickly. I didn't catch a word of that. Dominic is what?
He's from Canada, right?
Yes, he's from Canada. Yeah.
He's a hut, yeah.
Yeah, you're like what the heck did you say?
Bro, you can't see the cards. You can't hear me.
Dude, yeah, I don't know, man. All of my senses are just going. There's something wrong with me, but it's interesting to see that Jacob still is not opting to play the needle. He must have had that needle broken against him in a Kano game, and he's never mentally recovered from it. I know that I was scared of playing the needle for a while too, but I definitely think it's better than the Kodachis. Although he was able to get that last one out pretty convincingly against Mike, so we'll see if he can do it against Dom as well. And if so, then he's just the Canadian Slayer.
Canadian Slayer, eh?
We're encroaching on his territory here in America.
And he's going first again. So he's lost die roll both times against these Canadian Kanos.
Yeah, definitely not ideal to be going first. Kind of lets the Kano player block up, and if you don't have a lot of pressure, they can start Kanoing like off the top, get some free chip damage in, and then do the same thing again on their next turn. A lot of these Ira decks are running. Ooh, and then the Sigil turn 1 as well. Okay, all right. Must feel pretty good. Yeah, me too. Didn't go so well for the last Kano player, so we'll see. We'll see how it does against this one.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, Dom's just gonna start Kanoing here.
Yep, Kano off the top.
Seeing what he sees. Oh, that's definitely not going to be Kanoing off the top. That's probably the wrong card that he was.
Was that like a Blazing Aether?
That was a Blazing Aether. Yeah. Oh, I see. He's pitching it so that he can get to the bottom of the deck. Makes sense.
Yeah, probably has other reds in his hand at this point.
Yeah.
Weird though, because he has shuffle effects, right? So yeah, I mean that's the only thing is like lessens a lot of it. Nowadays in the Kano matchup, we pretty much never see the bottom of our deck versus super aggressive Ireless. Whisper the Oracle pitched, and that's gonna be a Kano activation.
I think he just knew that Blazing probably wasn't going to be doing much for him in his hand, and it certainly wasn't going to help on this first turn here. So, the Blue Aether Flare.
We've been here before.
Yeah, seriously, it is like Mike's game all over again. But yeah, he probably knew that Blazing Aether wasn't going to be doing much for him, so it's better to put it at the bottom of the deck and be able to maybe shuffle his deck, be able to see it off the top, or...
Red Aether Flare into Blue Aether Flare.
Red Aether Flare. Okay, it's not bad.
Yep. Coming in for 4, floating to 1. It's gonna be able to play the blue after that.
Mm-hmm. The blue will be buffed by the 1 damage that the red does here. Just getting a little bit of damage. Yep. Nothing wrong with that.
Coming in for 3.
Yeah, he'll have to decide if he wants to be blocking this one as well. I'd imagine that he probably just lets this one hit so that he can still have a full hand to pressure back with. Generally speaking, as an Ira player, you're not seeing, more than 2 blues per hand, unless you're getting unlucky or lucky.
Or lucky,
yeah. So usually there isn't really too much to block with. A lot of the Ira decks now are running, I think, it's a 14 blues at this point. It started at around 16, but now it's kind of lessened itself down to around 14 blues. So there are definitely hands where you only see 1 blue, and you have to decide if you want to be blocking out that damage, or if you want to be saving that blue to be able to swing back on your turn. But it looks like he did have the 2 blues in his hand, fortunately. He might be on the 16 blues. The 14 blue build is only the combo blue cards. But seeing a blue Soul Bead Strike tells me that he might be running some additional blues in his deck, because those are the extra blues that you add, basically.
We know that he has Fate Foreseen and Sync Below too, and those aren't going to do him any favors in this one.
Nope, not at all. He was able to pitch a Fate Foreseen and a Sync Below pretty early in his last game, but if he gets those in his hand this game, it is going to be very sad for him. But Kadachi into E-Strike, I'm assuming that the boots are probably getting broken here, and we're probably going to see a flying kick
That'd be
out of his
pretty.
hand
That'd be
because he kept the
nice.
2 resource floating.
Yep, there you
Yep,
go.
there it is.
So wow, I mean, still 20 life. This is putting his Kanos in a hard spot here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's a red 8th play and a red Voltic exhausted by the Kano. Pretty tough, because considering that those are the major chip cards.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you want to be hitting him with when you're Kanoing off the top, or just leaving 2 cards in your hand to be able to chip through with. Again, dealing 20 damage is not easy. There are ways to do it, but it's definitely tough to be able to get there. I mean, we thought Mike could, and he had 2 E-Pots on the field at one point. He still ended up not being able to take out the match here. So
there's our sink below.
There's that red sink below.
Okay.
To the yellow flick flag. Probably keeping a blue in hand to be able to block if necessary. See, the reason that I like running the needle is that 3 damage is a lot more significant than this 2 damage.
Massively.
I feel like as a Kano player, if I see, 2 Kodachis coming in, I'm just taking both Kodachi hits and then blocking whatever the 3rd attack is. And it looks like Dom has opted to do that as well. Probably just going to take 2 cards out of his hand to block whatever the 3rd attack is. And then just, again, chip back in. If he drew into a Voltic Bolt or something like that, then he can chip in for 3 damage. And slowly start whittling away at his opponent's life to get himself to a point where he can OTK them on their turn.
Yeah, at this point in the game, in this meta, it's just objectively correct, I think, to run the needle. Mm-hmm. It's so unlikely that they run the unmovable. Even when they did, that card was pretty bad. And that was back when they were playing OTK Kano. Like, this Kano version would never run that, because it just can't afford to whiff on an unmovable.
Yeah, no, you. I think that I haven't seen an unmovable in a Kano deck or a Fate Foreseen or anything like that in. We're going on like 4 months now.
Yeah,
it's been a really long time.
That's nice.
But ripping a stir off the top is definitely a nice thing to see. He did keep his whole hand there, so
yeah,
he'll probably have something nice to play here.
Play the stir. Maybe he has one of those Aether Spindles or Voltics, or he could have the forked here. Anything to chip in.
If he's got the forked, it'll be pretty devastating. Yeah, he's paying off the tunic and the last 2 resource, so it looks like it is going to be a stir forked. Yep, forked in hand. Yikes.
This is only for 12, though, so...
Yeah, but if you did want to chip damage, that's a pretty good way.
Yeah, take 9 is pretty good.
Yeah.
Didn't have to exhaust boots. Only uses tunic resource. So, going down to 11 for Jacob. So... 11. Yep.
And now you are in a very scary range where you're really hoping that you.
I love how he kept the fork, by the way, and he kept. Oh, that card.
Oh, he's playing the sigil right away. Okay, interesting.
I love how he kept the forked in his hand, and then the first card he came off was stir.
Yeah. To be fair, though, he did keep all the cards in his hand.
Yeah, so he was prepared to.
Yeah, Jacob didn't attack after.
Interesting to play the sigil like that. I would have definitely arsenaled it.
Yeah, I think I would have kept it in my arsenal as well. Unless I'm clearing my arsenal to be able to arsenal something else.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just super key in there. It's basically a defense reaction against wizards.
14 shields, 1 card in hand. Okay, so not shields down. Bit annoying for Dom to block here, but he could always have the tunic in front of it because we are 3 turns away from that being on again.
Yeah, I don't think that tunic's gonna see any more play, to be honest with you. I don't think we're going 3 more turns. So
Nourishing Emptiness.
Block it like that. Yeah, he's running the Nourishing Emptiness too. I've seen that in a lot of Kano decks recently. I actually got hit by one this weekend.
Yep, so did I. Turn 1. I got hit by one by an Ira. I was on Kano, and it was turn 1 Nourishing Emptiness. I'm just like,
No way.
yes, way. That was the same day that the prism thing happened to me.
Oh wow. Just
Yeah.
not your day, huh?
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Tell the Vathor one to draw 2, and then
Oh,
he'll fix
wow.
up the draw with the talismanic lens.
Oh, that's so interesting. The Talismanic Lens is a response to the Tome of the Aetherwind. Like, usually Talismanic Lens is your kill card. This is, like, really unconventional, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, maybe I'm wrong, but I never see this being, like, the correct... Well, I mean, yeah, what is this the correct use of
I usually
Talismanic
see it
Lens?
used when they are going for game. That is a red Voltic Bolt though, so not a bad card to see off the
Sure,
top,
sure.
especially if he's got a blue to
But
pay
he's gonna
for
have
it.
to like search on his opponent's turn in the future because he's killing with boots now, and now he doesn't have the Talismanic Lens. He had a red Aether. Is that a red? Yeah, a red Aether Flare.
Red Aether Flare, yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely would have just played out that Aether Flare. That's super interesting to get rid of the Talismanic Lens like that. But with that,
And
he's gonna take 3, so down to 11. So we are in, Stir Forked Metacarpus Note is 14 damage and does kill number 3. Both sigils have been used at this point, so no way for Jacob Burns to get out of that scenario if it does come up.
And that might be what Dom's playing for at this point, is just the Stir Forked.
But he has to,
Metacarpus Node combo.
Yeah, it's a lot because he has to.
He has to have
that.
one of them arsenaled, basically.
Well, so he actually exactly right. He can't do it if he just draws them both. Oh,
yeah,
that was an aggressive take back.